Welcome to my main Dynasty here on College Football 26. We are live on Twitch playing every single game. The Texas State Dynasty is still going. And as of this recording, I have not yet picked my team. How are we going to pick the team? Well, this is how. I've got a wheel. The three best options, in my opinion, are on this wheel. We have Houston. It's my city. By far the best uniforms, and they're actually not very good, only a 77 overall in the game. They've got a lot of work to do. We've got Wyoming. It's a fun environment. It's a challenge. Recruiting to the state of Wyoming is going to be tough. And then we've got App State, an unbelievable stadium, a great overall environment, maybe the best combination of uniforms, recruiting challenge, team build-up, and atmosphere. We've got one chance. I will be doing whoever this is. And the wheel spin is Appalachian State. My first main dynasty of College Football 26 will be the App State Mountaineers. I'm sure we're going to get to Wyoming at some point. We may even get to Houston at some point. But App State, to experience this environment, the recruiting, the stadium, the uniforms, we're going to go be a Mountaineer. And Coach Dangus is back. Now, I know some of you are going to ask, how is Coach Gene Dangus actively the head coach at both Texas State and App State? It's kind of like a UFC Conor McGregor, Ilya Taporia, just a multi-division champ type of deal, where Coach Dangus has such unbelievable power that he's got the ability to be the head coach at multiple schools at one time. App State went 5-6 last year, but the Coach Dangus era is officially underway as we jump in to start our journey with the Mountaineers. Again, we will do multiple dynasties across this season, or across this season of CFB 26. And we'll take a look at the team. This is going to be one of those teams that absolutely suffers from the transfer portal, where maybe it would have been slightly easier at Houston. It's going to be a little bit tougher here. We do have a transfer QB in AJ Swan, I think formerly of Vanderbilt. He actually has a decent arm and decent mobility. Star dev for JJ Cole. He already has a cannon. He's not very mobile at all, but is 6'7", 250. That's not a bad option. We've got Kanye at running back. Kanye Roberts. Hopefully, this one's a little bit easier to deal with. Rashad Dubinion, the senior running back, does have sidestep. And Khalifa Keith just has every ability I've ever seen. He's a little bit slow, but this is a fun running back room, to be honest. At wide receiver, we are sorely lacking for speed, even though Dalton Stroman apparently is a speedster type. No, he's not. He's got 85 speed. Gold shifty for Jaden Barnes. Not a lot of youth in this room. I guess we do have some redshirt sophomores, but got a long way to go. The offensive line, Griffin Scroggs is a good O-line name. The offensive line could use some serious work. It's very, very bad. And then off the edge, we have Sean Collins leading the way. Not a lot of youth here, although Alan Quinton is a 70 overall redshirt sophomore. Darius Rose got a chance to start right away, although we're not looking at a lot of good development traits here. Bucci Farmer, Rondarius Porter, Caden Ellis on the defensive line. We had Caden Ellis in Atlanta Falcons franchise, who's a pretty good player for us. Thomas Davis, not to be confused with the other Thomas Davis. This is a redshirt senior who's probably going to be our best athlete, and we're only going to have him for 1 year here with the linebackers. Kyle Arnholt, also a redshirt senior. And then Brayshawn Littlejohn actually has pretty good speed as well. Levi Dodson, not bad either. And then our cornerbacks honestly could be worse. Like Ethan Johnson's pretty good. Jaden McBurrows looks okay. We've got a White, Dylan Haas at quarterback, Christian Conyer, Emery Floyd, Elijah Mick Cantos. We got some interesting names here. Miles Farmer should be our starting free safety. Zaire Gamble just is pretty slow. It's going to be tough to leave him out there. And then we have DJ Burks, Jordan Favors potentially competing for playing time. Got a kicker that may be able to drill from range in Jackson Moore. And then it looks like we're going to have a pretty good punter in Mitchell Lake, and we may be forced to punt a lot out of the gate. If we take a look at the schedule, I am going to schedule my Dynasty team, the Trenton State Titans, although we will start versus Charlotte. It's a fun one at Bank of America Stadium. Big rivalry game here against the 49ers. At Southern Miss to open up Sunbelt play early in week 3. Then Boise State, Oregon State out west. At Georgia State versus Coastal Carolina. At Old Dominion versus Georgia Southern. At JMU versus Marshall and versus Arkansas State to end the season. Georgia Southern is another rivalry game, so week 11 could be good for recruiting. But not a ton of rivalry games here for the Mountaineers. At some point, we're going to have to schedule Michigan. That's a fact. Our recruiting board is probably going to be pretty bad here year 1, but I think we may be able to get a 4-star to campus in year 1. I think that's a possibility. I'm not even sure if we're going to try a 5-star. There is one that will at least give us a chance. Yeah, there are actually a couple that will give us a chance to recruit them. I mean, if David Ballo here is only considering like Georgia Tech and Louisville near the top, and he's local, we've got a 2-star Georgia pipeline. We could potentially try and get a 5-star quarterback early. Now, that's going to be really, really hard, but with the pipeline, I mean, App State is not really that terrible compared to, you know, maybe a Wyoming, for example. That was an option. But I think the best bet for us is probably going to be living in the range of 3 stars and going after some under-recruited 4 stars. Going head-to-head against actually good schools is going to be a recipe for disaster. But we get as high as a 3-star pipeline. There are some quarterbacks that are going to fit that, of course. And I think we could be in good position to bring in a fairly good class year 1. I think our aim is going to be somewhere around top 50 in the country. So we've got an interesting decision at quarterback. David Ballo from Roswell, Georgia. Doesn't look like he's being recruited by true juggernauts of college football, even as a 5-star. And he immediately looks pretty good. 87 speed, 87 throw power. There are some good quarterbacks that do want to consider App State pretty highly. Tommy Ty is a 4-star pocket passer with App State number 6 on his board. These are 4 stars that want to be here already. He's got pretty good speed for a pocket passer. He's got a pretty good arm, pretty good accuracy. I like Tommy Ty. Gerald Sapp we can probably remove. Ben Theus is a 4-star who, again, wants to be here, who looks all right, but is a bust. I think we should remove him off our board. Keontae Hussein has interest in being here. Pretty strong arm. Maybe more of a developmental guy. But again, does have interest in App State. That's a good possibility. And so does Ramondre Folkerts. Another 4-star. He's got a pretty good arm. Decent general accuracy. Pretty good speed. So we've got a tough call at quarterback because this 5-star seems actually attainable in year 1. It just, things look like they're going to line up. We have A+ playtime. That's his main focus. That's his main deal breaker. He's local to us in Roswell, Georgia. So if ever there was a time where we could randomly get a 5-star, David Ballo seems like he could be the one. He's not being, like, you don't see Clemson. You don't see Georgia. You don't see big schools there. And no disrespect to Louisville and Georgia Tech. I guess Tennessee's in the mix. But it doesn't look impossible. So quarterback's going to be one of those where, do we take the big swing early? It may make sense to. So for recruiting, you'll notice a trend here early. I'm mostly going after only pipeline players, and it's a lot of players in the state of North Carolina. It's our best pipeline. There are some that are more national, like Dylan Lawrence here is from Minnesota, but Doesn't look like he's being recruited very hard off the bat, but it's a lot of Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. There's some Florida in there as well, but a lot of North Carolina and South Carolina. And I think that's going to be our best bet. We are going to take a big swing on the 5-star quarterback, because if we get him, it is a complete program-changing player right away. So I think it's worth it in that particular instance. And we are going to do motivator head coach. And we're going to do interest boost for quarterback recruits when a current quarterback hits a skill cap. Now that can be a pretty valuable one to have. So we're trying to somehow get skill points mid-season to upgrade these guys so that they can hit a skill cap. I think J.J. Cole will end up being the starter. He's not as mobile, but I think there is just more upside there. And we are ready to start the season. Week 1 starts with a bang, as we're already locked out on a 4-star center. Getting a 4-star is going to be tough here. Our championship contender is listed as an F, but it should actually be better than that. I think we've got a chance to be Sun Belt winners in year 1. The Sun Belt is not very good. We know that already from Texas State Dynasty, and the 5-star recruitment is already over. Tennessee and Missouri have jumped in big time. That was a fun ride while it lasted. We have 450 hours. These quarterbacks are being recruited pretty hard pretty early. I think we should make a decision on which one they're going after. It's tempting to go after multiple. I think the best one for us is Ramondre Fulkerts. He's the lowest rated of all of them, but he may actually be the best with the best combination of accuracy and athleticism. It is close, though. They're all very similar. Tommy Ty is the most accurate, no question. We'll think on it. Looks like we might have a pretty decent advantage off the rip, even though the prestige is low. Paul Simmons has Master Motivator. That's already very nice. And DJ Smith has Elite Recruiter. So we're going to find it actually very easy to potentially bring in big linebackers. Oh my goodness. Linebacker is probably what we want to try to recruit here early. Now, we're not going to be able to bring in a 5-star at linebacker, but there are some good 4-star linebackers that are already on our board, and some are not being heavily recruited. We might have a pretty good chance to bring in multiple 4-star linebackers this cycle, and that could be game-changing. LBU, App State, I can feel it. So this is the way the board's going to look. We are focusing on Ramondre Fulkerts. I think it's our best chance. Now, unfortunately, he's a play style guy, so if we don't fit the play style, that could end up being a challenge. He likes pro potential, probably play style and play time, and we can offer a lot of play time. Indiana has a better pipeline. Maybe this isn't the one to go after, but we're going after a number of really good linebackers. I think we feed into our elite recruiter defensive coordinator with a linebacker specialty. I think we can bring in some 4-stars right away. And these guys are not being recruited that heavily. I think we've got a pretty good advantage there. If we bring in 3 or even 4 awesome linebackers year 1, we can kind of mix and match where those guys play. Some of those guys could move to the edge if they profile well there. Some of those guys could just fill out a really good linebacking core for us for the future. We have aging players everywhere on this team. I am reevaluating the quarterback we're going after, though, because you've got to factor in these deal breakers. You got to factor in not only the deal breakers, but also, you know, how close these guys are to you. Who else is going after them? We have no pipeline with Keontae Hussein, though, and he's out in Oklahoma. We don't have scholarships anymore on Tommy Ty. He's also a play style guy. Hussein likes pro potential and playing time, and probably play style as well, but it's not his main deal breaker. But if Miami pushes here, we've got no chance at Ty. So forget about that one. Does it make more sense to go after Hussein? He's slightly slower with a slightly better arm, slightly better overall accuracy. Do we have a better chance? Do I think we can out-recruit Kansas and maybe Arkansas? Or Indiana head-to-head? With a tier 4 pipeline? That's the question. Yeah, so this was a tough call, but again, it's ultimately what we're going to do. We are going after Keontae Hussein, and we will offer a scholarship later at some point, but I think considering the pipelines, considering the deal breaker, I do think we have a slightly better chance for Keontae Hussein over Ramondre Folkerts. That's going to end up being the tough call, but hopefully the right call. And we'll see if that ends up being the correct call. We move to week 1. We are already locked out on some of the linebackers we just added, which is unfortunate because we put in 50 hours. Maybe for the best, though. Big rivalry game, week 1, App State, Charlotte. And let's see where we are in quarterback. I think we made the right call. We're going to have points for a scholarship now. This recruitment is moving really quickly. Yeah, but Keontae Hussein looks like he could be the future of the program. And our elite recruiter defensive coordinator is already really helping us out with these linebackers. We look to be in fantastic position for a couple of 4 stars. Unfortunately, Moma looks like he could be going out to Lubbock to play at Texas Tech. But we are pursuing 4-star linebackers heavily, and I think it's going to end up paying off. Let's jump into a big rivalry game against Charlotte. Week 1, rivalry game against Charlotte. Your App State Mountaineers. I think this environment's going to be really fun to play in. The stadium's just got such an awesome environment. It's like in the mountains. If you've ever seen App State, it's kind of like literally in the crevice of a mountain. It's a little smoky up there in the Appalachian area. It's fun, man. And I think this was a good choice for our first main dynasty of college football 26. App State, Charlotte, but this is a neutral site game. I think this is Bank of America, where the Panthers play. Fairly certain. So even though it is a home game, we're not actually in Boone today. So, unfortunate, but I think it's going to be a really good choice. The environment's so awesome. The setting's so cool. And hopefully we can build this team up, be a national champion one day. Now, it may not be sticking in the Sun Belt, as their quarterback's going to look to take off. And Harrell is wrapped up after a gain of 6. But I think a move to the ACC eventually is what we're going to want. Here's 2nd and 4. RPO. Step up with Haas. He can't make the tackle, or Haas. That was the Charlotte running back Donald Chaney being featured. He's going to be a guy to look out for, but he's not touched the football yet. Here's 1st down and 10. I think we should have this wrapped up, but we're going to actually over-pursue, and Johnson's there to make the tackle. Maybe our best defensive player. CB1, Ethan Johnson. We do have a couple of sophomores starting at linebacker in Littlejohn, and Dodson at least as a sub-linebacker in this package. But we are recruiting their replacements actively as the ball's tipped up into the air and will fall incomplete. I've made the decision to start AJ Swan. We could go with the younger guy, but due to conference prestige, it looks like there's a decent chance that he's going to transfer. As we force the check down and make the tackle. Way to force the punt. But AJ Swan's pretty good. He doesn't have quite the same arm talent, but maybe a little bit more accurate as a veteran. Got maybe a little bit more speed than the 6'7" option. And here is the transfer, AJ Swan. Former Vanderbilt quarterback, now moving east. And I think he's going to be pretty good for this level. We've got a decent couple of backs as well that we're going to look to feature. And that's a blitz pickup, but it's a block and release. Yeah, at some point, you've got to release. Kanye Roberts really thinks he's an offensive lineman, I guess. As we're already backed up looking at 2nd and 18. Here's a quick check down. Good block. And Cummings with the big truck stick. Lowering the shoulder and getting the first down. Hey, we'll take that. Get the ball to Kanye. Stiff arming, but can't find much. Isaiah Cummings might be a monster for us at tight end. Here's 2nd and 9. Throwing that to Barnes. It's not as accurate as it could be. And we're going to be looking at 3rd and 6. See who wants to get open. Throwing down the field, just out. Work him, body him, box him out. Nice catch. Good way to move the chains for Strowman. 1st and 10. Oh no, Swan on the move. He's going to get sacked. Can't escape. Charlotte already showing a relentless pass rush. Okay, this clock is moving very, very quickly. We've not had a lot of time here. We're going to take a shot down the field for Dozier. And he can't seem to find the football. 3rd and forever. And will certainly be the final play of the first quarter here unless we spike the ball. Which I don't think that's going to happen. You never know, though. This is just an arm punt spot. Step up and let it fly. We actually might have a step with Strowman. It's dropped in the bucket by Swan. Strowman proving to be wide receiver 1 here early. What a throw from A.J. Swan. As we are airing it out on the 49ers. Beautiful throw, but a great catch. Now, I think against a better defensive back, he turns his head and he finds the ball there. Didn't end up happening here. But you still got to be really happy with the result. Ball on the 1. Here's Roberts, and Kanye shows power. Getting into the end zone. Should be 7-0 Mountaineers here at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Kanye Roberts. Good start for the Mountaineers. 7-0 it is. Good drive. There may be something that needs to be done about the play clock acceleration. I feel like maybe it's a bit quick. But maybe matters a little bit less here in Season 1. As we're going to be a little bit underdeveloped at this point. Might want to fly through Season 1 a little bit as we can, look to recruit, develop this team. 1st and 10 for Charlotte. Not really a great cutback there. Nowhere to go for Chaney. Levi Dodson makes the tackle. 2nd and 10. Screen! Get out there, Little John. Way to get around the block. He got to wrap up, and he will. Maybe we don't need to recruit linebackers so much. Our linebackers are playing great to start. We'll see if that remains the trend on 3rd and long for Charlotte. Into Tampa 2, we got to make sure to get back. It's a check down. Big hit. And they're going to give him the first down. Justin Olsen fighting for it, and I don't really think that's that good of a spot. Read option, we're out there. Burks makes the tackle. We've got some good defensive standout players here already. Burks actually on fire after making that tackle for loss. Sets up 2nd and 11 for Charlotte. Running back in motion. Got to be aware of the swing screen, but they're actually going to throw across. Dodson can't get there. It's another first down for Charlotte. Felt like we had the right idea. Just could not make the play. 3:33 to go. Get out to the back. Broken tackle, but we are rallying to the ball carrier. It's a huge loss for the 49ers. Levi Dodson, 2nd TFL. 2nd and 16. Oh, it's a fake. It's play action, and it's wide open. Burke saves the touchdown as the last line of defense. But it seems like, we're playing good defense, and then we allow a big play. We're playing good defense, and then we allow a big play. We got to be a little bit more consistent here. Goes out to the back. We just don't have the angle. It's another big play for Charlotte. They're knocking on the door here, but that is the 2-minute timeout. As Charlotte looks to show us, basically, on their home turf, that they own North Carolina. You don't. Maybe tier 2, but you don't. Harrell throwing. Can't find the receiver. Let's try to put some pressure on him. RPO. Running back gets the give, and that's a great change of direction. How does he end up making it 3rd and 2? Picks up 8. We got basically tackled twice, and that enabled him to get a lot of extra yardage. 3rd and 2. We're all over it. Let's call a timeout. Great tackle that time. No crazy extra yardage. And we'll see if Charlotte nails this kick. It's short. It's from the right hash. And it's good here as the 49ers find the board in the Duke's Mayo Classic Bowl. Real barn burner here to start. We've got 2 timeouts. I think we have enough time to do something. This isn't a great offense, but if we can just throw the ball up to Stroman, he might be able to make his mark us on this game. Marcus Stroman, ever heard of him? He's a guy. 1:19 to go. Play action to start. Went high point, but didn't have the time to make that throw. 1:15 remains in the first half. Can we move the football? They're going to blitz. Get the block and release, but we can't make it happen. We're just trying to make it 2nd and manageable, but instead it's 3rd and 10. We may be looking to just lob it up here. No, we actually might have a step there. No! Better coverage. I underestimated the speed from Reed Williford. And he has the pass breakup. Will force the punt. Charlotte actually may have a chance to answer in the first half. I mean, they've got 3 timeouts. A full minute to work with. I think they'd almost be guaranteed 3, but they want more than that. Find the football. Big catch by Charlotte. It took 1 play. '49ers take the lead. Okay. Jaden McGowan. Harrell throwing a moon ball. Didn't look pretty, but it got right where it needed to be, and we just couldn't locate the ball. 10-0 Charlotte. And we'll be put in basically an identical situation to them. 7 fewer seconds. 1 fewer timeout. But it'll be a very... Well, and also the field position is going to be different too. That's maybe the biggest factor. Not a great return either. Just out to the 25. I mean, we could go play action. I don't think they're going to fall for it. Tight end is open. Just get the ball out quickly. We're going to go hurry up here. We really need to try and get a big play. Their best corner is going to be on the slot fade. It looked like they were tripling the right side, but it's single coverage, but we don't have the time with the offensive line. And we're already down to just 33 seconds. It's 3rd and 5. We're almost risking Charlotte getting the ball back and taking the lead. That's what this appears to be. We're going to go to Cummins, trying to make him explode again. It won't happen. Short of the line to gain. And again, we will punt. As you'll see pretty often with these small-time schools, the offensive line just doesn't really hold up, and the defense is having some problems. It looked like we were going to have some good moments early, and we did, but we couldn't really carry that into consistently making stops. 21 seconds to play. Just don't let Charlotte do anything crazy. I don't think they're going to try and score here, but maybe they take a shot. And that's actually great pressure. Charlotte calls a timeout. We finally got to Harrell. Is that Thomas Davis? Thomas Davis actually made quite a lot of plays in this same stadium. The NFL linebacker. 13 seconds on the clock. 3rd and 13 for Charlotte. An interception kind of makes this interesting. But they're actually going to get a completion. We're going to try and force a punt here. And we're going to try and block this. I don't know if you have really any chance to block punts in this game. But we're going for it. We won't get it, but you wanted to force a punt there. Because maybe you get a block. Maybe you can do something. But that's going to end up being the first half. Down by 3. It could be worse. It also could be better. As we tried to get crazy there. Charlotte appears to be a worthy opponent already. Not our best effort. But it was a couple of big plays for Charlotte. That seems to be the difference. Jaden McGowan, 61 yards and a touchdown, but it was really just the one big play. And this, he had a step over the top, to be fair. We had a corner right there, I think it was Dylan Haas. And he just didn't get a hand up and then dove at the ground. Trying to press X to deflect. He couldn't locate the ball. Maybe would have been better off going for the interception. But hindsight's 20/20. We'll start the third quarter with the football. Chance to take the lead. We could be in a far worse position right now. Instead, we are 3 points away from the tie, and we actually have pretty good space there by Dubinion. He makes the most of it, taking it to the 31. And we'll see if we can get a drive going. Let's find the end zone here. There's Kanye Roberts. Gets us 5. 5 yards a clip we'll take. It's a pretty good result. Here's 2nd and 5. That space up the middle. That's a decent block as well, and Roberts looked like he had forever to go. But Kanye, unfortunately, gets tackled from behind. Good drive working, though. I need this tight end to release. It's actually going to be Kanye Roberts who does. He manages to break a tackle there. Makes it 2nd and 5. Kind of worked as a run in a way. And we could look to get a little bit more of a running back rotation going. As we're going to find Barnes. And already this is our best drive of the game overall. The most consistent amounts of positive yardage. Yeah, we had a bomb down the field. But that's not consistent. You can't necessarily rely on that. As again, every time with these block and releases, we can't manage to find the timing. And that's kind of where I'm looking first, to just check down, make something happen. But it has not been the case so far. Got to throw that early, work back to the football, catch made. And that was a scary one. But it is a first down for the Mountaineers. 1st and 10. Looking to step up, AJ Swan, just go down. He gets 6, 2nd and 4. Good look to get back to the run here. On the move, Swan to the end zone, Barnes makes the catch, touchdown App State. Back out in front. Back in front. Gotta love it. Good drive. Yeah, we had some things go our way for sure. And that is a tough throw for AJ Swan to make with the defender right in his face. But he's going to find Jaden Barnes. He makes the catch. And it should be a 4-point lead. And this game is flying by. The play clock acceleration to 10 or 12 or whatever it is just a little bit too much. It's got to be up. Let's play some defense, though. Let's get in a position to win this game. One stop could be all it takes. We should be right in the way there. Oh, big impact block there from 63 on the Charlotte O-line. Starting left tackle, and he looked ferocious. Little John right in the hole. He wraps up and forces the backwards. It's Donald Chaney not having a very good game. And we're showing pressure here. Creep Little John up. Harrell throwing, completing, and a broken tackle makes it a first down. More broken tackles as Javen Nicholas would not be denied. Final moments of the third quarter. Quick out to the tight end. We just don't have the speed. Somebody better make a play. How do we not have the angle? Gus McGee. It's a fake name. That's a mechanic down the road. Gus McGee outrunning the entire App State defense. And we are already to the fourth quarter. End of 3 here in Charlotte. It's been a battle of 2 big play receivers. 2 catches, 60-plus yards. And really the only reason why these teams have any points. Outside of that last drive we just had, it was really only Stroman. 7 minutes on the clock. Got to be aware of the running back here, but also Harrell has great speed when they run an option play like that. It's so tempting to just crash inside to take care of the running back. I mean, Chaney's very good, but you got to be aware of Harrell. Here's a run, and we just are not in position again, and this is probably the worst tackling team in college football. It is broken tackle after broken tackle for Charlotte, of all teams. Trying to hold on to a 4-point lead. RPO to the flat. Not going to be enough. And Charlotte will bring out the punt unit from the 32 down in the fourth quarter. And it's a touchback. Oh my goodness. Charlotte, so confident they couldn't get 4 yards, opts for 12 yards of field position. And that may end up being what decides the game. That is a cowardly call from Charlotte. And if they lose, they're going to have nobody to blame but themselves. Try a draw. There's Kanye Roberts. That's the first down. All the lights in this stadium are not too bright for Kanye Roberts. Quick out to the flat. There's Larkins. Just stay in bounds. Keep that clock ticking. If we're going to throw, we've got to keep that clock ticking. Got to make quick, easy throws and guarantee that we're not going to stop that clock for free. Charlotte has started to call timeouts at the 3-minute mark. 3rd and 1. They've got only 3 down linemen. Roberts with change of direction. And the first, forcing Charlotte's second timeout. Now they want a QB power here. Or QB counter, really, is what this is. Stroman's going to come in motion. I don't know if I love the call. We're going to trust the OC, though. And there's just not really anywhere to go. Charlotte's called their final timeout. I think this is a spot where we need to keep the ball on the ground. But 2nd and 12 makes it tough. We definitely need a first. There's Roberts with a hole. Roberts lowering the shoulder and picks up the first on 2nd and long. Kanye Roberts. Okay. That is a great effort. Oh, look at the move from Kanye Roberts. Back-to-back first downs. That brings us to the 2-minute timeout. We are holding the lead here late. Charlotte cannot stop the clock. That should do it. Waited just long enough. If you snap the ball a little bit early, you might be in trouble, but obviously we were not going to do that. And that is the ball game. It looked a little bit scary at points. Kanye Roberts ends up being your MVP. 10 for 61. Did score a touchdown. We're going to mess with the clock a little bit more. And that is an excellent start here to App State Dynasty. Winning in week 1. We're going to take home the Duke's Mayo Bowl Classic. And we are 1-0. Like, we can't lose to Charlotte in week 1. Charlotte is just not good. They're just not. AJ Swan goes 12 for 17 for 156 and a touchdown. Was sacked several times. Roberts goes 10 for 61. Did get into the end zone, obviously broke a couple of tackles. And he was just consistent. Didn't break one or anything like that, but just consistent. And you can see these receivers. Just one receiver going over 30 yards. Touchdown for Jaden Barnes. He does have gold shifty. That could be very valuable. And of course, Dalton Stroman with the big catch. He's 6'4". Speedster type, but he's not fast. But can he go up and get it? It would appear so. Saw the offensive line. Sacks for Shamar Jackson and Kanye Roberts. Although Griffin Scroggs picked up 4 pancakes in this one. IHOP Classic. Defensively, 3 TFLs for Levi Dodson, 2 for Dylan Haas and DJ Burks. Thomas Davis, Sean Collins, and Ethan Johnson all had 1 as well. A sack for Thomas Davis in this one. Obviously no interceptions. Pass deflection for Philip Pemberton on the defensive line. And just a solid week 1 victory. You know, nothing crazy here, but just a solid showing. Big news. Up to D- championship contender. And I think that could go up even maybe as high as C- this year. Now, if we win every game in the Sun Belt, which already doesn't appear to be a high probability, because if we lost to Charlotte, that would have been disastrous to open the year, and it was close. Granted, limited possessions. The accelerated play clock has changed. That should change that. Got Trenton State on the schedule now. The Titans are an FCS school. This should be easy 2-0. But this run is where things start to get a little bit more difficult. At Southern Miss, at Boise State, versus Oregon State. And then some of these games could be toss-ups against Georgia State and Coastal. James Madison could be tough. I do think we could win at least, maybe not at least, but I think we win 6 or 7 this year minimum. I guess that's what at least means, but there are a lot of 50-50s in there that I really don't have a good feel for how it's going to play out yet. Recruiting update, we're looking good. I think we're going to be able to recruit linebacker with the best of them. And we've taken the lead on 4-star running back Dylan Lawrence from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. He's just not being heavily recruited right now. Cal is our only competition. So we're not trying to take our foot off the gas pedal. We're trying to recruit heavily. Although I thought Cornell Figures was a bit better. He's kind of a low 3-star. Maybe that's not as important as I first thought. But we are gaining so many points on linebackers. This is the year to need a linebacker, that's for sure. Because, well, I mean, as long as we keep this defensive coordinator, we should be able to recruit that position fairly well for the duration, right? Looking pretty good on this 4-star running back as well. If we can bring in a couple of 4-star running backs in year 1, I mean, we're going to be sitting pretty. And right now it looks like we're absolutely going to be able to do that, meaning some of these running backs down the board are not going to be as valuable to us. So I want to reevaluate the board just a little bit. I definitely want to improve on the O-line. We're locked out by Cornell Wayne. I'm not really that interested in a JUCO junior left guard, Trent Dragos, as cool as that name is. And Moses Hogue locked us out. We've got very limited hours here at App State. We've got to be pretty aware of that. But if we can upgrade our secondary, really upgrade at linebacker, which is, it appears that we're going to be able to do that, we're going to be set up in a pretty good position to improve our defense really quickly. And I hope that we're going to be able to find ways to be better on offense. We've taken the lead on Keontae Hussein. I think we made the right call, but Kansas, as kind of predicted and expected, is not going to be our biggest adversary in this. It's going to be Arkansas. But we're putting more effort to bring in Keontae Hussein. This would be a top 10 quarterback in the country. And that would be a heck of an ad. We have found a 4-star left tackle from Belfry, Kentucky, which is A, proximity to home. Louisville's going after him, Notre Dame's going after him, but they're not really. So I think we may have an opening here. We've got A, proximity to home. That's already an A hard sell. If he likes playing time, that would be an A and an A+. Now, it's not a guarantee that he's going to, but it's a possibility. And as long as he's not being recruited heavily, we've got a shot here. Campus lifestyle is a B-. at App State as well. So that's going to work to our benefit. Got a lot of C's all over the place. But as long as these guys have deal breakers that feature either playing time or proximity to home, we're going to have pretty good hard sells. Looking pretty good on the running backs. I think in order to increase playing time, I'm going to take these running backs off the board. And that may increase that slightly over time. We'll see. But I would like to bring in 2 running backs this cycle. I wish I could mid-season transfer a running back on my board. I don't think that would actually impact what these guys think of the team. But Kanye Roberts may not be here next season. That's a possibility. Rashad Dubinion certainly will not be. Khalifa Keith could be, but may not be. Kamani Alexander could be, but may not be. We're not going to get up to B- brand exposure. There's no way. And then Max Guest. I mean, we could have a lot of running backs just leaving. They all have deal breakers that we mainly cannot satisfy. So we really we need to get those running backs in the class this year out of the high school level. And they've got a decent chance to compete to start. And maybe if not be the legit starter, they've got a chance to get significant play time. I think I'm going to like my auto subs for running back to be set to keep fresh and just really get a nice rotation going on, because I think that's realistic to college football. So we'll try that setting for now. And I want to get a rotation going. It's not just going to be Kanye power, even if it's going to be a lot of Kanye power. Or nope, Kanye. Kanye Power. What a name that would be. A Kanye Roberts. So that's going to do it for episode 1. Most of these episodes will feature more games. We're going to kick things off with Trenton State in the next one. It'll be recorded live on twitch.tv/Bengal later tonight if you're watching this when it's first coming out. So come by, check it out. We're going to be taking on Trenton State, Southern Miss, Boise State, Oregon State. It's going to be a fun time. Hopefully featuring a lot of winning and a lot of winning recruiting battles. I can't wait. Hopefully you guys are excited for the series. And I'll see you on Twitch and YouTube in the next one. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.